Good evening and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, everybody, welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. I'm here for two reasons. First of all, let's make I call them my famous smothered potatoes because everybody loves them. Although I've changed up the recipe a little bit. Normally, and you must like garlic and onions in order to like this recipe. First of all, you need your potatoes. I prefer either Idaho potatoes or russet potatoes. This is a set of Idaho potatoes. That's what I bought when I went to the grocery store on Friday. They were on sale, so I chose the Idaho potatoes. Normally, whichever one is the cheapest, I will choose. So usually russet, is usually the cheapest, but this time Idaho won out. So that's what I'm using, Idaho potatoes that I've already cut up. I did the prep because that would have been just wasted minutes once again. And then I cut up some onion and I also cut up one of my garlic. Now, the Grow Club, usually they're giving us our garlic for next year at this time. I haven't heard any announcements. So I've decided that if they do not give us garlic, I will take probably two of the cloves or two of the garlic heads of the garlic I planted last year, which is the music. One variety was music and the other was German. And I will plant my own garlic from the garlic that I grew this year. Or last year rather, because I planted it on October the, I think, 29th of last year. So on the same day of this year, I will plant that if we do not receive garlic from the Grow Club. So I have that already set. Okay, so I decided, because this was such a big, giant, nice onion, and it's a sweet onion, sweet yellow, I decided to start my first onion butt. Here it is. So I just cut the little butt off and then I put it in water, and every day we will check that onion butt and you will see just how quickly it will take root. By the end of the week, the roots should be well down into the water, and I'm telling you, when it's time for me to plant this bad boy a month from now, believe me, this whole jar will be full of onion root. What you do is you change the water every other day. You want to keep it fresh. And you start your onion butt, and then I will bury it when I plant my other onions and my other onion butts. I will bury it, and we'll see. We're going to do that experiment. I'll see how well the seeded onion take, the germinated onion take, and how well the onion butts take. And I'm going to label all of that, and it will be in the garden table where the bush beans are. Okay, so I will keep you updated. Now, back to the potatoes. I changed the recipe a little bit. I've always just used the garlic and onion, the potatoes, and then I would add a little black pepper. Well, earlier this summer, once I got fresh tarragon, I decided to try a little fresh tarragon in it, just a pinch. And believe me, it took the potatoes to the next level. So that's a new staple ingredient for my smothered potatoes until I run out. I have this that my sister gave me, and then I have my own bottle that I harvested, which has to last me all winter. The other thing I'm going to add this time, this is the new ingredient. I'm going to add a few sweet pepper powder flakes, and I'm going to also add a little bit of the red pepper powder and flakes, just to see if it enhances things. I can't go wrong. So, okay, so now we are going to put the potatoes in. Now, what I like to do, some people use water. In fact, this recipe actually came from my godmother. She used only potatoes, onions, and she used water in the skillet to smother her potatoes. It was delicious, hey. But I came up with a little butter, and it looks like a lot. I got a little bit too much here, but that's okay. A little butter, and then I'll use just a drop of cooking oil, which is down there. So the first thing you want to do is layer your first layer of potatoes in the skillet. And then what I like to do, because I do not like, although I like caramelized onion and garlic, and it will caramelize because when I flip it later to brown the potatoes, it will caramelize the onions and garlic. But I always, and this is too much, this is way too much, but I'm gonna use them anyway. Okay, so I'm putting some of them in here. Let's get some of this garlic. Okay, then I'm gonna pour the rest of the potatoes in, and they've already been washed thoroughly, and then the rest of the onions and garlic. I usually don't use this much onion and garlic, but you guys, that onion was so big, and I only cut the butt end off of it, and that butt end, I'm telling you, it was even big. Excuse my dishes, y'all. I haven't washed them yet today. Okay, so then after that, what I do is, and I have that out, but I brought this spatula out because for the cast iron, the enamel cast iron, you want to use the rubber. So the first thing I'm going to add is a little black pepper, and I don't add that much, just enough, just a little. And I do not add salt. I rarely add salt to anything that I cook. Not that it makes it any healthier, okay? But that's how I do it. You know, I just don't add salt. And I'm going to give just a teeny tiny shake of this, because usually I'm only putting like 2 or 3 sprigs of this. See what I just did? And that's too much right there. And this is the French tarragon. But believe me, it takes the flavor to the next level. But if you don't have French tarragon, don't worry about it. I only use it because it's there. Now I'm getting ready to add my new ingredient. And so I really don't know how this will turn out. And I will let you know. I'm adding a little bit of the pepper flakes. Can't go wrong with it because I love the pepper flakes. And I'm going to leave the red pepper out because I forgot I added red pepper to the pepper flakes, and I see that some fell in there. Smells good already. And you can hear it starting to cook. And then after that, what you do, I just leave it be. I flatten it out a little bit. I leave it be, and I put a top over it. I have my stove set at 3. I usually turn it down to 2.6 or 2.8. And these will cook and smother for the next 30 minutes or so. Once the potatoes get soft, then I'll come and flip them. And then after I flip them, I'll let them cook a little bit more. And then I will brown them. I will turn the stove up to high for about 2 minutes and let them brown. And at the bottom, they'll have a crispy, crunchy coating on them. And they are delicious. I'm telling you, I love them. Okay, let's close up the Que-stead since it's 7:28. Now, you see how dark it is. By 7:45, it'll be pitch black. But what I can tell you, make sure the door is locked. What I can tell you is that how you see it looking now is how it has looked all day. This has been a long, dreary, cold day. So I went out and I closed up the greenhouse. Totally. Because when I went out to the greenhouse, first of all, I sold those Seychelles green bean seeds, 7 of them to be exact. And I sold them right into the crate where the green beans that are currently flowering or blooming are. And so that they should sprout within the next few days. So we'll see what happens with those. So we have 7 more in there to go along with what's already in there. Let's cut on the light. But it's been dark like this all day, you guys. The light switch has been flicked because it is cold, it is dreary, and it's supposed to be that way all week. I've been talking about our weather, how it's supposed to change this week, and right on schedule, it has. So I want you to take a look at my horseradish. The squirrel, he has eaten every horseradish leaf, as you can see, but that's okay. He won't touch that horseradish, that's for sure. And that's buried underneath. That's the root crop. So he can eat the leaves all he wants. I'm glad he liked them and enjoyed them. In fact, I hope he bites into a horseradish. Okay? The plants out there, as you can see, the rain has brought down the leaves. So I'm glad I didn't do any blowing because I started to blow them yesterday. I'm glad that I didn't because it would have been worse on today. So the rain, actually, I'm kind of happy for it because it will start the process of the leaves coming down and the trees turning. In fact, I can see some of the trees in the back there starting to turn. So I am happy for the rain. Okay, let's close her up back here. Like I said, I closed up the greenhouse. So it was 65 in there when I went in there earlier, and it was cool in there. So when I closed it up, I'm quite sure it took the temperature probably up to 70, 75, I would think. So I should be safe. Okay, the last thing I want to show you before I get off, I finished up the blanket, and I stuck it here on the bed so you can see the full spectrum of it. A couple of more skeins and it would have fit the bed.